Objective question 27 for SHS candidates. The bearing of Q from P is 40 degrees and the bearing of R from P is 130 degrees. So the bearing of Q from P, let's do it here. Is 30 degrees. So 30 be somewhere around this place. $30, and it continues, and the bearing of R from P. So this is P, and we have Q from P here, and R from P is 130 degrees. So already we have 90 degrees. So we subtract 130 from 90 from 130, and we are getting 40. So we have to construct 40 degrees here. It's 45, so 40 will come around this place. Alright, so here is 40 degrees. And it continues. It means our arrow come here. It continues. If PQ is equal to R, PQ is equal to R, as we have here, and PR is equal to 2R. PR, 2R, so 2 times the length of PQ. So let's increase the length a little bit. Okay, so this will be our 2R. We are to find QR. So let me construct my plane at this place. Let me join them. Perfect. So we are to find QR. That's the length of QR. If this angle is 30 degrees, then this angle here will be, we have 30, was it? No, it's 40, not 40 degrees. So the question was the bearing of Q from P is 40 degrees, not 30, 40 degrees. So when you subtract 40 from the right angle here, we are going to get 50 degrees because the angle for a right angle is 90 degrees. Now we have 50 degrees plus 40 degrees, and that one will give us 90 degrees. So we have here to be 90 degrees, we have 2R here, and we also have R here. But we have to find the length QR. So we can use Pythagoras theorem to find it. So by Pythagoras theorem, our QR will be equal to 2R squared. No, QR squared is 2R squared plus R squared. Our QR squared is equal to 2R squared plus R squared. So 2R squared will give us 4R squared, then plus R squared. So our QR squared will be equal to 4R squared plus R squared is 5R squared. So to find QR, we take the square root of 5R squared, and that one will be R root 5, because the square root of 5 is square root of 5, and the square root of R squared is R. So our answer is R root 5. Objective question 25 for private candidates. Write the bearing of 151 degrees in compass direction form. So the bearing of 151 degrees. Let's construct our plane. Alright. And we know that this is the North Pole, South, East, West. So 151 degrees will fall in this quadrant. So what we have to do is to subtract 90 from 151. We are getting 61. So it means we have to construct an angle of 61 here. Because this one is 61 degrees. And this angle will be 90 minus 61 is 29 degrees. Alright. Now, the question was write the bearing 151 degrees in compass direction for. For compass direction, we begin with either the North or the South Pole. But since this is, now we have South, East, and West. Since the direction is in between the South and the East, it will be South. And the angle closer to the South Pole is 29 degrees. So South, 29 degrees. Then we have East. We begin from the South Pole and ends with the East Pole. Theory question 14b for private candidate. The bearing of P from X 10 kilometers away is 25 degrees. So the bearing of P from X. So our X will be here. And it's 25 degrees. 25 degrees will be somewhere here. .25 degrees. And we are saying it's 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. Alright, here is our X. Or the bearing of P from X. So our point P will come here. Let me construct this one. Our point P. And it continues. Another point Q is 6 kilometers from X. So point Q is 6 kilometers from X. And it's on a bearing of 162 degrees. So 162 minus 90 is giving me 72. So 72, come around this place. But the length is 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers. So I calculate the distance PQ, II, bearing of P from Q. So let's construct this plane here. Next, we have to join this pole from P to this from P to Q. PQ. And we have to find the distance PQ. PQ. Okay. Let's see. Here is 25 degrees. So this angle will be 90 minus 25. I think it's 65. 65 degrees plus this, as the bearing was from X to Q, the bearing was 162 degrees. So here is 72 degrees. 72 degrees. So that 72 degrees plus the 65 is going to give us 137 degrees. So the whole of this angle is 137 degrees. So we have this angle. We want to find PQ, which is opposite to the angle. Then we know this side and that side. So we can use the cosine rule. So I, by the cosine rule, it implies that our PQ square will be equal to C square, this side, QX, plus the side PX square minus 2 multiplied by 6 and multiplied by 10 cos the angle opposite to PQ, which is 137. So 137 degrees. C square plus 10 square is giving us 136. 136. Then negative 2 times 6 times 10 times the cos of 137. We have positive 87.76. So when we add that one to 136 to give us 223.76. So to find PQ, we have to take the square root. Take the square root of 223.76. So square root of that will give us 14.9587. We are working in kilometers. We weren't given any value to convert it to. So we can say that therefore PQ, therefore the distance PQ is equal to, can say 14.96 kilometers. That's to 2 decimal places. So for II, we are to find the bearing of P from Q. Let me upgrade this one a little bit. So the bearing of P from Q is this distance. That's what we are to find. So you can say, let that small angle there be, should it be theta? Yeah, let it be theta. Now let's see whether we know this angle over here, this angle. All right, we know that the angle here is 72 degrees. So if that one is 72 degrees, then it means here is 72 degrees as well, because they are alternate angles. 72 degrees, the Z shape. So if here is 72 degrees, what will be this angle? You have to subtract 72 from 90, and that gives a value of 18 degrees. 18 degrees over there. So we can use this angle that we now know it is 18 plus theta, and the opposite side, and again the angle we know, which is 137 degrees, and the opposite side to find the theta. So we go by the sine rule. By the sine rule, the sine of 18 plus theta, all are in degrees, divided by the side opposite is px, which is 10 kilometers. So 10 is equal to the sine of the angle 137 degrees, and its opposite side is PQ, and it has a value of 14.96. all right, so we can do cross multiplication and get sine 18 plus theta degrees is equal to 10 sine 137 degrees divided by 14.96. So with the help of our calculator, we can say 10 sine 137 divided by 14.96 gives 0.456. So we find the sine inverse of that, and we are going to get sine inverse of 0.456. That one will give us 27.12. So to get theta, we have to transpose 18 to the right hand side, which gives the value of theta to be 27.12 minus 18. Then when we subtract 18 from that, we get 9.12. So theta is the bearing that we are finding. Let me bring the degrees. Theta is the bearing, so we can conclude that, therefore, the bearing of P from Q is equal to 0.009 degrees, and it is to the nearest degree. We weren't told to leave it to the nearest degree, but that's what we have done, to the nearest degree.